In today's short video, we're going to talk about how to write a proper bibliography and get the formatting just right. So first of all, bibliographies intimidate a lot of people, but they really shouldn't. So I'm going to teach you a simple acronym to learn how to do almost any bibliography in MLA form. And we start with the simple penguin, okay? And so our acronym runs very simply: all the penguins die. And if I want you to think of that acronym or that mnemonic as being wrapped up in the words, okay, and marked by a period following each of those words, okay? All the penguins die. And we're going to think of the all as representing author, the title, penguins represents publication information, and then the die represents the date, okay? And this format right here is pretty standard for almost any bibliography that you will write, okay? The sticky part happens right here, all right? But we start with the author, we move to the title, then we provide publication information, and finally we wrap up with the date. So what we're going to do is take a look at how this works kind of in a practical form. And so I'm going to bring you to an example here, okay? And we're going to take a look at this. All right. So one way you have of thinking about it is with the author. All right. He's the all. All right. We're going to put the author, since the most important name for a person is typically the last name. It's going to go last name, comma, first name. That's your author. It's going to be capitalized. We'll end that part. Think of this as being divided into 4 parts. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. Author, title, publication, date. Okay. So when we're thinking about a standard website, which is where most of you will be pulling your information from, we have an author to the website. We have a title of the page of the website or the article we found on the website. Okay. We will put that title in quotation marks. Okay. We have publication information. I call this the who's your daddy, when's your daddy, where's your daddy. The first is what is the publishing website. Okay, what is the big container that houses the smaller article. The second place would be, or the second position would be, when was this published? What is the date, the most recent date that you can find either in the byline or at the very bottom of the website? Sometimes you can find a page or a list of when it was last updated. Whichever is the most recent is the one that you want to use. Okay. And then finally we have the internet site. Okay, this would be the www, the web address. Each of those elements is separated by a comma. Okay. All period, the period, penguins divided up by commas, and then finally the date that you pulled it off the internet. When did you find it? When did you actually discover it and begin to start reading it? All right. So this simple formula can then be turned into a bibliography unless we have certain issues. Okay. And some of those issues are, well, what happens if my bibliography is made up of this long code and I start to write it out and I notice that as I'm writing it, I get this bibliography that seems to go on and on and on and on, and mostly because of that is it's the code. It's the www part. In that case, what becomes acceptable is to use a website like tinyurl, which is a website that takes and truncates, it brings to a smaller number all of this code, and it tops it down to about 7 letters. Okay, so this will easily fit and make your website or make your bibliography, keep it from looking very cluttered. All right. So another issue that we have is what happens if I look at my website and I notice that there's not an author with it. Okay, or I'm missing some element. What MLA says is if you don't have it, skip it. If there's no author, we don't put anything. Okay, we start with the next element, which would be the title, which in this case is it's in quotation marks, it ends with a period. We have our publication. This is the container that holds the article, comma, This is the most recent date. You'll notice it didn't give me a specific day. It just says fall. It was maybe a monthly publication. Another comma. I have my web address. Some people say they don't like it hyperlinked. It does not matter to me. The hyperlink is actually convenient because I can click and double check the source for you. Okay, and then that ends with a period, and our final spot is going to be this date where we pulled it off the website. Okay, so again, all the penguins die. Okay, author, title, publication information, date. Simple as that. And we top it all off by adding the period at the end. So again, each element contains a period. Okay?